Good morning, everyone. Today's Wednesday, August the 10th. This is day 29 of my Colorado through hike. It's been a chilly night last night. I think the lows were down into the low 40s and a little bit noisy. We had cows nearby, and then also coyotes were going off about 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure what they were doing. Today I'll be starting segment 17 from Sargent's Mesa to Highway 114. This segment is 20.6 miles long. 2,810 feet up, 4,810 feet down. The high point of today will be at the mile 9.2, which will be 11,685 feet. And hopefully after that climb, there will be some nice views to show. Not sure how far I'll go in this segment today. There's some designated sites at about 10.7 and about 15.7. So not sure. I'd like to make it to the 15, if not to the end of it. So we will wait and see. All depends upon the terrain and where I'm at around the 4, 5, 6 o'clock hour. So we'll check in soon. Bye-bye. Most of the trail yesterday, for the most part, and then so far today has been really through these high alpine meadows. I did see a couple deer yesterday right before I got to camp. I could see them on the trail, and then they would kind of go off onto the side after I got a little bit closer to them. I think I may have got a picture of one of them. A little less than 3 miles into segment 17 and working on the first small climb. Got a little bit of a view to a valley down here below to my left. And we'll see if there's anything on top to see. It's a little after 9 a.m. and I'm about 4 miles into today's hike. And this is pretty much what the trail looks like. There's been some ups and downs, what I think what's called rollers. Nothing real steep. They've been steep, but they've been short. And looks like there's those pretty much most of the day on this segment. What's also hard to make any good time is everything in between the climbs. Obviously on the climbs you're not, at least I'm not going fast, maybe 1 mile an hour. But once you get up the climb, even on flat ground or going downhill, everything is just extremely rocky. So there's no way that you can make up time or make good time on it. You do have to watch your footing and use your poles. Otherwise, you're going to be going down. But even on the, there's hardly any flat areas so far that I've ran into on the Colorado Trail, but those, when you do run into them, at least on this segment for short little distances, they're just extremely rocky, rooty, muddy. So it's hard to make good time, but hopefully maybe 2 miles an hour on the downhill in the flats, maybe to make up for it. I don't know. Finally made it up the last climb, and looks like it is about lunchtime, so I'm just going to go a little further down here and go ahead and stop, get this pack off, maybe set the ground sheet out to dry a little bit, and enjoy some lunch. It's about 12:15 and just made it to the top of Middle Baldy, which is the high point for today. It's 11,685, if I recall. Not a very good view. It's obstructed with all these dead trees. But anyway, I'm going to try to find a spot up here and take a little break, have lunch, maybe let the ground sheet dry out a little bit, and then I think after I leave here, it is downhill for a while. So I will check back a little bit later. Had someone join me for lunch today. It's been sitting there for probably 5 minutes. Even when I move my hand around, it just stays right there. It's about 12:35, just finished lunch and moving on. Next chore for today will be to try to find some water. There's a possible water source at 1.3 miles. These last two sections are have had very limited water, and what water is here is not real good. There's a lot of cows that are roaming these last two segments. So even when there are water sources, they're not good at all. About the only thing you can do is filter and also use tablets to help sterilize the water. But you got to have water, so you got to get it where you can. So I'm hoping that here in a little over a mile, there is some decent water that I can use to carry on into camp. And I think at camp, I'm going to go ahead and call it at 15 miles today. There's nothing really. The segment's about 20 miles long, and doesn't look like there's any place to camp around the end of the segment. So I'll probably be stopping right around the 15 mile for the day and just trying to find some. It is a dry camp spot, meaning no water around it. So I do need to try to find some water. I'll fill up if I can find water, I'll fill up 2 liters and filter it, and then I'll carry in 2 additional liters in a unfiltered bag that I can filter at camp. So anyway, I'll check back when we get to the water source. Well, we're not at the water source, but walked around the corner, and this is a view that was waiting for me, so I thought I would go ahead and capture that before I head down any lower and miss it. A little bit hard to walk here on these rocks with no pole. Very cool. Not sure if it's going to rain today or not. I hope not, but we shall see. Are you taking a bath? You taking a bath in the sand? Trail just opened up into a large meadow. Not seeing any wildlife other than the deer that I seen last night at camp. Seen a couple different deer pretty close by. So still making my way down to this potential water source. I'm still a little over a half a mile away. Okay, that was a bummer. I had to pass on that water. There was just a very light trickle, but it was absolutely disgusting. And I spared you the details. I didn't show it to you, but there's no way I was going to try to filter that. And then also, even putting tablets in it, it just didn't look good. Had another hiker come up behind me, and I said, the water doesn't look really good. And she said, I got tablets. So it looks like she's filtering it, but I'll conserve and do whatever I need to do, but I'm not filtering that. Well, it's about 4 o'clock. I thought I found a good spot, and actually even started to set up, but started looking around. It's really windy here, and if you can look around, all the way around me, there's dead trees. And as I was getting ready to set up the tent, I could hear some of them creaking, and it's very windy too. So I just don't think this is a good place to stay. So I am moving on, try to find something else. It's about 4:30, and I am still looking for a campsite. I don't know if you can see in this video, but it just looks like a war zone with all these downed trees. So just not crazy about taking a chance on camping with all these dead trees that are still up, and keep hoping that I'm going to come out of this and there's going to be some nice places to camp. So we'll see. Not panicking yet. It's only 4:30. Got a little bit of time. Good evening, everyone. It's a little after 6, and I finally found a campsite. I went ahead and finished this climb to the top here. It's about 11,093 feet. And then right off the trail here, probably 25, 30 yards, found a little spot here nestled in some pine trees. It's actually got room probably for maybe a couple tent. So I think this will be okay for tonight. It's really only one dead tree, which is a whole lot better than what I was looking at before. So I'm going to go ahead and get things ready, and then I'll do a closeout for the day and recap what the hike was. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to go ahead and close out Wednesday, August the 10th, day 29. Camp tonight is on the top of the last climb that I did, which was at 11,060 feet. Should be an interesting night, and I have a feeling it's going to be quite windy. Completed most of segment 17 today. I hiked 16.5 miles and have a remaining 4.1 miles left for this segment. Today's hike was primarily rocky rollers with 2,810 feet up and 4,810 feet down. The big issue that we had with today's segment was water, or the lack of. I should be able to get some water in about 3 to 4 miles after I start hiking tomorrow. Came into camp tonight with a little less than 2 liters, about 1 and maybe 3/4 liters, which is a little bit low for what you need for fixing dinner, fixing breakfast, cleaning up, those types of things. So had to kind of conserve water a little bit, use a very little water tonight, and then tomorrow morning I'll skip the coffee and get hiking as early as possible, and be able to pick up some more water then in about 3 or 4 miles. So you all have a good evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.